Jays today, where today, folks, we are going to be talking, shout out and thank you to the person that just subscribed, talking about Alek Manoah. There are some big updates involved with him, as well as Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers. His plane has finally landed.
After so many months.
So much discourse and discussion. His plane has finally landed in Toronto. It is not a Dragon's Den this time, and there's not some electric stream that we're doing right now following it. He's just here to kick our asses because he's pretty good at baseball right now for those LA Dodgers. So we're going to talk about all of that and more today, everybody, in this upcoming series. I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog.
I'm your host, Adam Peddle. Yeah, man. Wow. What a series that was in Kansas City. What a series.
I was hoping to just move on and refresh that, but I guess let's get into it.
We are gonna get into the whole big Alek Manoah update, which is shocking, but just horrible. I mean, I just recorded a video room about an hour before this. It's coming out tomorrow morning. And most of it was just me just ranting. It's just bringing up the facts, ranting, talking about this organization. And it feels like that series really just put into question, the integrity of this team, the strength of this team. It showed all of our flaws, and it's just abysmal. We'll get into it more, but I just want to let everyone know that, yes, I am not trying to forget. I can't forget how bad it was.
Okay, I mean, let's do a little bit of ranting right now.
Let's go.
I saw an article. I think it was by Jays Journal. Maybe I'm wrong. I apologize if it wasn't by Jays Journal. But effectively an article talking about we're a year in now. We're over a year in to the whole mentality or the philosophy of defense first, you run prevention first. We'll deal with the offense later. Right? We're over a year now into that philosophy and that mentality for the Toronto Blue Jays, and effectively the article was arguing, well, is this working or is this not working? And I mean, please give me your thoughts on it, but from my standpoint, I don't know if this is working.
Well, essentially that is what my video is going to be talking about tomorrow. I actually based it off of that article. So shout out to Jays Journal who wrote that. Short answer, no. Short answer, no. Long answer will be tomorrow. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it in the comments, guys. But let's move on. Let's talk about Alek Manoah and the big update there, because I saw this too. I saw an article talking about this, and I believe it was Jays Journal as well. Shout out to them. Talking about how there is a rumor out there that Alek Manoah's return to the big league roster could push Yariel Rodriguezs into the bullpen. Now, we've talked about it where we've been shocked about Yariel Rodriguezz. A, he's been really good. B, how quickly he's come up. But we do have to remember this guy, and we say it time and time again, he did not pitch at all last year. He's on a bit of an innings limit. To that limit is, we don't know, but the Blue Jays have talked about it. Yeah, they're going to slowly work him in. They don't want to kill his arm because you're going to have him for a few more years after this, right? So at some point, you're going to have to limit his innings, and by doing that, maybe he goes into a pen bulk role. And Alek Manoah, well, his 30 days is coming up for his IL stint, and he's got to be coming back to the big league roster early May. So you're going to bring him back up and replace Yariel Rodriguezz in the rotation. Now, that sounds crazy just reading that. Why in the hell would you do that? Because you've got to take a look and see, this is by Ben Nicholson-Smith, Alek Manoah has been so bad. I mean, he's had some great appearances, but this last one on Wednesday was so bad. 3 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 walks, 2 homers, and John Schneider's on press saying not ideal, a lot of pitches. But this guy could be potentially replacing Yariel Rodriguezz in the rotation. What are your thoughts on that happening?
Dude, this is some bullshit right here.
This is some
actual bullshit. I mean, you just can't. It feels like, and again, I don't want to hate on Alek Manoah, right? Nice guy and everything.
Yeah, I love
but at the end of the day, it's it feels like you're throwing in the towel by doing something like this. You're effectively saying, okay, well, 1 out of every 5 games, we're going to lose. Because he's just not pitching.
Ready.
He's not ready. He's not pitching at a competitive level right now. He can't deal with the guys in AAA. He can't deal with those.
He can't deal with the guys in single A.
Right. Excuse me. Yeah, that wasn't even AAA. That was literal single A. Right. It's he can't even handle that. How on earth could you possibly imagine that you could bring him up to the MLB and could you imagine him starting against the LA Dodgers
this
right
weekend?
Now?
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani would have his way. There's just no You can't do it. You can't do it. If Yariel Rodriguezz is on a pitch limit, he's on a pitch limit. But then you got to find something else.
You got to find somebody else.
You got to either trade for somebody. You got to figure out what the fuck is going on with Bowden Francis and work that out.
Yeah.
I know he's hurt right now, but it's like, when he does come back, can we do something there? Alek Manoah is absolutely not the answer right now for this rotation.
Yeah.
And if you think it's hard to win a game when your pitcher only gives up, 3 or 4 runs.
Yeah, literally.
Try it when Alek Manoah is giving up 8 or 9.
Yeah, I agree with you that we got to go find somebody, because when you take a look at the Blue Jays roster and you're like, okay, well, who else? Because obviously this is like, it's crazy. Well, you're kind of forced to do this. Like, I don't think the Jays want to do this. I don't think, like, John Schneider wants to pitch Alek Manoah, but you're forced to, because when you look at our depth, I mean, the only other starting pitcher that's healthy right now, Bowden Francis, he's not any better than Manoah would give me right now at this point. But the only other healthy starting pitcher that could come up is Paulo Espino. Are you going to start him in games? Maybe, but you got to go find something else. And are they willing to do that? What would they be willing to trade? It's too early right now, really, to be cooking a bit in the trade market. So it feels like this is something that you're just going to have to do. And we might see Alek Manoah with the big league club sooner rather than later, and we're gonna have to ride with it.
Okay, look, I mean, fine, but also no. Okay, sure, the situation right now, but you just make something happen, man. Like, you literally just have to make something happen. Like, the way that I look at Alek Manoah right now is if I don't know, pick a guy off the street type thing. Like, maybe that's not doing him a disservice, but at the end of the day. He is going to come up here and he's going to get shelled. Like, you can't do that. You cannot do it. And then also from another standpoint, from Alek Manoah's standpoint, is it a good idea? Like, if you actually want this guy to become something later down the line, right? Like, if you want him to be part of the future of this team, which I think all of us want him to be, right? We've seen the potential before. Is it a good idea when he has given up, 4, 5, 6 earned runs to single A guys? To then bring him up to the MLB and then pitch him against the Yankees or the Dodgers, like whatever.
No, I agree with you. It's not a good idea, but it's something they might have to monitor. Now, going back to Yariel Rodriguezz, I'm hoping we could just ride him as much as possible. I don't know if there's a situation where Alek would go into a bullpen role. I don't think they've ever talked about that, but that's the only other really option for him.
I mean, again, I think that you just need to, you got to look at any other option that you have, right? Like, literally any other, I'm thinking any other option. I am thinking Espino. I'm thinking Bowden Francis. I'm thinking, if Yariel Rodriguezz is on a pitch limit, well, can he do 3 innings and then someone else can do 3 innings? All of those options are better for me than the alternative.
If somebody DFAs like a Mitch White character, pick up the Mitch White character.
Legitimate.
Yeah.
Legit, right?
Until he figures this shit out.
And again, I don't want to be out here, ranting and hating on Alek Manoah, because again, I like Alek Manoah. I want him to be good at baseball, but the fact of the matter is, he's just not right now. He's just not right now.
I don't like those numbers.
No.
It's nothing to do with Alek Manoah. I don't like those numbers.
Yeah, and dude, I mean, you never hear John Schneider come out and say anything negative. This guy's always fucking Mr. Positive. Like, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. can literally look at it could be a 60-mile-per-hour pitch that he just looks at down the middle, and John Schneider would be like, oh yeah, well, he crossed up there, but we'll get him tomorrow. Yeah. He never says anything negative. This is something that is negative, which just goes to show his thoughts right now in the situation. I just you can't do it. You just can't do it.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're gonna have to continue to monitor this. We're gonna see in the next week or so what the decision is, because May is coming up. That 30-day is coming up. I don't know exactly when you have to go when it effectively started, but it is coming soon. We'll see.
I'm literally thinking about other prospects too.
Someone said Ricky Tiedemann, and he's hurt.
He's hurt right now, but who else we got?
Chad Dallas.
Literally. No, seriously.
Chad Dallas.
Seriously.
Bring him up to the 40-man.
I will do, something like that is a better alternative for me than where Alek Manoah is at right now. I think, for his sake, for the team's sake, he needs more time. He just needs more time. It's as simple as that.
We'll see what happens. What happens there, guys. But let us know your thoughts about Alek Manoah in the chat, in the live chat right now. That's a tough situation. Next, Shohei Ohtani, like we said off the top of the show, his plane finally landed. He's here in Toronto. Yay. But he's going to be wearing Dodger blue instead of Blue Jays blue. Yeah. And my goodness, I think some fans, they're going to be, they've bottled up a lot of that frustration. I mean, hell, we have bottled up a lot of frustration over the offseason against Shohei Ohtani. But I think we can all say and agree nothing to do with Shohei Ohtani versus the Blue Jays. Maybe you could make an argument that Shohei Ohtani used the Blue Jays and we should boo him. But what I'm saying is like, Ben Nicholson Smith's talking about it right here. He wrote an article on it saying that this upcoming weekend, the Blue Jay fans are going to be out there. There's going to be some boos on Shohei Ohtani because of the whole playing situation being used, thinking we'd get him, but we didn't. Maybe even a little bit of that, allegations of scandal, of betting in there. And he's going to be a common enemy amongst Blue Jay fans. But is it warranted is what I'm trying to bring up. I'm saying probably not. I mean, it really had nothing to do with us personally, with him against us. But I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts. I'd like to hear your thoughts, Nick. Should we be booing Ohtani in Toronto tonight?
Look, man, I mean, the whole, potential booing of Ohtani here, you got to factor in Ohtani is like that romantic partner that you had that just hurt you. And
Right.
And it really, like, they didn't do it in a bad way. Like, it's not like he cheated on you. It's not like he, lied to you or anything like that.
No.
He just, decided
He dated you.
Exactly. Like, he led you on a little bit, but then he also, decided that ultimately, like, you guys were not right for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it fucking hurts, right? So
I mean, maybe he was right.
Maybe he was right based on the way that we're playing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it hurts, and that's where you're gonna hear the boos, and that's where you're gonna hear the emotion. At the end of the day, like, I mean, I kind of hope that Blue Jays fans can, get past it and don't stoop to that level necessarily.
Right.
Because, I mean, like, I don't think that there's no real reason to boo the guy. Like, I think Shohei Ohtani is a pretty stand-up individual, gambling aside. Yeah.
But also, he apparently didn't do that. So,
Well, yeah. Also the fact that like that whole thing has just been like fucking.
We just
silent, like not talked about.
His ex-interpreter just fell on the sword, bro.
Fell on the sword, and like
okay.
everyone's moving on,
Yep.
and Ohtani is leading the league in doubles and batting average and everything like that right now.
He's dominating.
Yeah,
right
actually, I mean, like Shohei Ohtani, like if you're gonna boo him for anything, boo him for the ridiculous amount of hits and home runs that he's gonna have against the Toronto Blue Jays in this series. That Baseball Savant page is just absolutely cracked, everybody. We're going to talk a little bit more about it in a second, but quick shout out here to Jordan Keats with a $5 dono saying, Manoah needs a chance to prove himself again. Bullpen for me is the best spot. Back-to-back with Rodriguez. Love from YT. Thank you very much for the donation, dude. I agree that Manoah does need a chance to prove himself again. He definitely deserves that, but I just don't think that he's ready right now. And bullpen, like I'm more interested in him doing a bullpen thing, but I mean, like you said, they've never done that before. It seems unlikely that they would go that road.
Yeah, it's different preparation, so it feels pretty unlikely. But thank you, Jordan.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jordan.
Back to Shohei Ohtani here, though, man. Like this guy is it's just ridiculous, man. Like it's crazy what he's doing. He's batting .358. He's got a slugging of .670. His OPS is well over 1. I mean, like, I don't even want to go down this road because it's just going to hurt me to think about. But could you imagine if we did actually get this? Like, the difference that it would make on this ball team if that guy was batting 3 for the Toronto Blue Jays?
He might have driven a few more runs. That's absolutely for sure, man, on the Toronto Blue Jays. And, we can live in fantasy land, and it sucks because I was showing Nick this, and this is just me, Bo Bichette catching strays right now. Mm-hmm. But like you look at that page, you look at our star, and Bo Bichette is our star, right?
He's supposed to be our guy, right? He's supposed to be our guy,
and so far not being the guy.
Yeah, like just not hitting for any power, not hitting anything consistently, literally just not hitting.
It's a weak comparison because you got Ohtani DH and then Bo Bichette shortstop, plays a different game. But again, it goes to show like where we're at as a Toronto Blue Jay team right now and how much of a difference one star can make from another impacting your team.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I mean, like, again, and the top 3 in Bo and Springer and Vlad, like we've been talking about it time and time again, they just need to be better at baseball. They just need to be better at baseball if this team is going to want to do anything this year, right? If they want to actually go to the playoffs and even be remotely competitive there, you're going to need some superstars to emerge, and those are our guys, and they're just not emerging right now. And so, I mean, you said Bo Bichette catching a stray. I mean, I guess it kind of is a stray, but at the end of the day, like, he's not producing the way that we need him to produce. It's as simple as that.
Why don't we take a little transition over into that series? That's kind of all the big news and updates there. Yeah, but we look at that Kansas City series, and Bo Bichette, mind you, hit a really good bases clearing double, and that kind of won us the game. Plus a Varsho homer on that Monday game.
Yeah.
But then after that, guys, I mean, like, It took one runners in scoring position base hit to win us a game. One. And then the rest of that series was just abysmal.
We couldn't do it after
We
that.
couldn't do it.
After that.
I remember I ranted. I did a little post-game breakdown on Wednesday, ranting about the 0 for 7 right over here. And my God, it is just abysmal.
The problem with runners in
scoring position. It keeps happening. You look at Tuesday's game, it looks the same as Wednesday's game. And the pitching is doing everything in its power. Three runs let up. 3 runs let up. 3 runs let up.
Yeah.
We lose 2. You're telling me that the Blue Jays are losing 2 out of those 3 games where we let up 3 runs. Granted, this Thursday we only played half a game, but still, we couldn't do anything about it. We've talked it time and time again. What was your kind of takeaway from this Kansas City Royals series where, you know, you had Varsho popping off great, but my goodness, guys. I mean, granted, George Springer was there. He was actually there quite a lot throughout the series.
George Springer started to heat up, man. George Springer started to heat up. But the fact of the matter is, the offense sucks right now. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Yeah. The offense is not good. We're just not good. You can't cash people in when they do get on base, and you're rarely getting on base to begin with. So, like, you're not hitting for power. You're not, you know, the OPS right now is ranked 28th in the league. Yeah. We're just right above the Washington Nationals, folks. Like, this is not where, you know, winning teams are. You got the Dodgers up there. You got the Orioles up there. I mean, the Braves, obviously, like, they're doing really good. The offense just simply needs to be better at baseball. And it does start with the top 3, and then it carries over to the other guys. But realistically, other than Dalton Varsho and Justin Turner, there's not a whole lot of dudes that I'm liking. What is this?
This is runners in scoring position OPS. We are bottom 3.
We are bottom 3. We're batting .204 with runners in scoring position and a slugging of .286. Like, that's just not good enough. That's just not good enough. And that's why you're gonna start, or, you know, the Toronto Blue Jays are losing ball games 2-1 and, you know, 3-2 and all that. Like, you shouldn't be losing games like that when your pitching gives you an opportunity to win, and the pitching has been so good for the Toronto Blue Jays. Even though the ERA statistics, like, aren't super sexy, like, we know that the starters are good. We know that the bullpen is good, especially now with Eric Swanson and Jordan Romano returning to that bullpen. But when your pitching is giving you games of just three runs, you should be winning, 80 to 90% of those.
Absolutely. I was going to say 2 out of 3, but it's even more than that.
Yeah,
you could win all 3.
You should be winning those. You know, you should be doing that.
I mean, I hate beating the dead horse, man. I actually talk about this in the video coming up tomorrow. But we beat on the top 3 because they hold up about 34.9% of the at-bats of this lineup. I mean, granted, you know, you're a third, but a little bit more because you're getting more at-bats, you're getting more regular at-bats, and it's just not good enough. And, you know, I tried to find, you know, I always do those videos where, like, I try to make a solution or come up with a answer to the problem for the Toronto Blue Jays. What's the solution? Because right now you're looking at it, you got George Springer. I mean, I think we can officially say George Springer, the age curve is starting to really impact him.
Yeah.
You know, yes, he had a great series. I'm going to, you know, give him a lot of credit. I picked him for Jay of the Week, or worst Jay of the Week, and he's having a great series.
Yeah.
But, you know, the age curve is there. Vladdy's on a downward trend.
I have no idea what the hell is going on with Guerrero. I mean, like, at this point, and I know that we're only like 25 games in the season, but it's not just this season, right? It's multiple seasons now. At this point, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is at the very best just an average guy, and that's really all he is. And I think that now we need to start treating him like an average guy. Why is he batting second? Why? Yeah. Like seriously, why is he doing that? Like, he's certainly not playing to deserve that spot right now. Like, he should be moved down the order because the guy that you saw in 2021 is not who he is anymore. I'd love for that guy to return, but it feels like with every passing day, with every passing game, we get further and further and further away from that player that he was 3 years ago. And you're right, it is going in a downward trajectory. Like, the defense has not been good. The offense has been even worse than that. Something's got to change with him, man.
April 6th was the last day the Blue, and I agree with you on that, all that. April 6th was the last day the Blue Jays scored more than 5 runs. But what I'm saying right here, and people are talking about it in the chat, this is Matthew Jones, the lineup needs a reshuffle. We've talked about it. When do you start moving guys? Time is now.
Now.
You're back in Toronto. You're facing the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Change the effing lineup. It's not working. You haven't, again, I will say it again. You haven't scored more than 5 runs since April 6th.
Yeah.
April 6th in the Bronx. That was a month ago, basically at this point. John Schneider changed the lineup. Now I'm ranting. I bottled this up for time.
Right.
Change the lineup, dude. What are you? If you don't change the lineup, you're not doing your job. Yes, trust your guys. Trust your guys. They're not doing it. It's been a month.
Yeah.
You have 5 months of baseball left. Change the effing lineup. Move guys down, demote them. Get the guys up there. And the problem is, there's not many other guys doing good. You got Varsho, yes. You got maybe a couple sample sizes of Kevin Biggio, Clement here. But you got to do something. You got to do something until it works.
Well, look, for me, you start small. And it's a simple shift where you take Dalton Varsho and you put him 2 and Vladdy goes to 5. And that's number 1. That's the first thing that you do right there, okay? Vladdy right now, you could argue profiles better as a 5-hitter anyways, right?
Yeah.
Like legitimately,
literally.
He should be. And then you get your righty, lefty, righty because you go Springer and you go Dalton Varsho and then you go Bo Bichette, right?
Yeah.
So that works. You start off there. Everyone's going to be happy with that. He's doing well. He deserves to be playing up there. You do that first. If that's not working for people, then you do something else. You move Bo Bichette down. But it is time to stop looking at these guys' names and going, okay, well, that's Bo Bichette. And he will do it. Maybe he will do it eventually, but let him fucking figure it out in the 5 or 6 spot until then, because you're right. Right now, starting an inning off with George Springer, starting a ball game off with George Springer and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette,
it's a 1-2-3 inning.
That's a 1-2-3. The opposing pitcher gets settled in. They're like, oh, okay, this is pretty nice, actually. In fact, we looked at it the other day, folks. The only team in the MLB who has a worse top 3 guys, just by OPS standpoint, the only team is the Oakland Athletics. That's it.
Bad.
Everyone else has, someone in the top 3 who's got like an 800 OPS.
Yeah. Even the White Sox.
Even
they have 2 guys with 800 OPS.
Even the White Sox, man. Like that is not something that I want to think about or even have to say.
Carl Anthony says, it doesn't matter if you change the lineup if it's the same players. I agree with you, but unless you're trading away your guys, which you're not going to do in April, I think that is overkill in April. You have to kick them in the ass. And unless you're literally if you're not going to physically kick them in the ass, which you're not going to do,
no, you
got to kick them in the ass and hurt their ego. You got to kick their ego in the ass. Move them down. Because right now they're protected. They're safe right now. There's obviously I'm not going to say that they don't have desire to get better. Of course they want to get better. That's why they're here. They're all trying to get better. But I think a roster or a lineup shuffle is a bit of a kick in the ass saying, oh shit, my job in being a prominent factor in this team is now no longer safe.
Well,
move.
Look, I'll tell you guys this. I'll give you guys an interesting thought experiment. Take a look at the Toronto Blue Jays lineup, or not even look at their lineup. Just take a look at Toronto Blue Jays player stats. Look at the player stats. Look at the hitters. Take your hand, put it directly over top of the names. Put it right over top of the names, and just look at the numbers. Just look at the numbers, the batting average, the on base, the OPS, and go through your brain and say, okay, just looking at these numbers, I don't even know who I don't even know the player, like who is attributed to. How would I structure the lineup? Just looking at the numbers from what they've done this year.
That's
very
a great
curious.
experiment, actually.
I'm curious to hear what you guys come up with. It's like I guarantee it's going to be something that you didn't expect, and I assure you that Vladimir Guerrero Jr., George Springer, and Bo Bichette will not be in your top 3.
Dude, that is actually a great experiment, man. I might F around. I might F around and do that. I'm serious. That's a great thought experiment.
I don't know how it would turn out, but that's how I want John Schneider to start thinking about this team. Because forget the name value, dude. It is time to make a change. All that being said, though, we got to pick up some games against the LA Dodgers. We're coming back to Toronto. It's going to be a tough one, folks. Let's take a look at this first game, folks. It is going to be Chris Bassett on the bump. Stone against him. This is one of the few Dodgers pitchers who's not doing too well right now, actually. 6 ERA, 16 strikeouts. I don't know a whole lot about this guy.
Young guy.
But obviously we know Hound on the mound is pretty damn good at baseball. However, this offense is unlike some of the offenses that we have faced in the past. These guys are damn good at baseball. We already showed you Shohei Ohtani. I mean, right now, early goings, but Mookie Betts is the odds-on favorite to win MVP. Actually, can you pull up their team, their player stats, please?
Player stats,
like just click on the LA Dodgers and see their player stats, because I know Will Smith is doing good. Freddie Freeman is obviously Freddie Freeman. Teoscar Hernandez, that's an underrated thing. We're going to see him again, dude. This team is really damn good at. Yeah, like look at this shit, dude. That's insanity.
Wow.
That's insanity. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys with a OPS over 800, and all of them are coming to Toronto. It is going to be a difficult series. I do expect us to lose probably at least 2 of them here.
Oh, at least.
Do you think that we're going to lose game 1?
See, I actually think probably game 1 would be the one that if we're going to win, it's going to be now. But it's maybe it's recency bias, so I got to get rid of that. But I keep thinking we're going to lose every single game. It's always this way. When we're winning, I think we're going to win every game. When we're losing, I think we're going to lose every game. So taking all that away, this feels like a game you should pick up. It's going to be tough because you're going to have Chris Bassett absolutely dominate this lineup. And I don't know if if you're going to get anybody, it's going to be Stone, though.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Like, that's why this brand of baseball that we're playing where it's all defense and run prevention first.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, like, it works. You do prevent the runs. Like, we might give up a couple, but, like, you can't hit. And at the end of the day, like, these guys are going to out-hit you. These guys are going to out-hit you. And
that's it.
I do think that, even like let's face it, a good outing for Bassett against the LA Dodgers, against this lineup, would be like 3 earned runs.
3 earned runs, 5 innings, 6 innings. Yeah. That's great.
Exactly. And then you get the bullpen out there, and then maybe they give up 1 more. So if we give up 4 runs, which is still a very good outing against this team, can the offense score more than 4?
I'm not gonna lie. Wow. Now I'm really thinking about it. I think we get swept this weekend.
Look, man, it's actually possible.
Like, I do think more likely than not we will pick up 1, and this is the most likely.
Right.
But I am predicting if there's not a change in this lineup, in the offensive approach and anything, they'll get swept. However, they've been really good at home. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Maybe we're cheating. But I'm saying we're getting swept. Maybe I'm being negative. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, you're being negative, but you got reasons to do it, man. I mean, again,
you pointed out right there with the runs.
Well, it just comes down to it. Yeah. Like a good game against the LA Dodgers, you give up 4 runs.
Yeah.
Can we score 5 against their pitching? Well, I'll tell you right now, we're not scoring 5 against Tyler Glasnow. That's the guy that's going to be on Saturday. Everybody. Yeah. He is really damn good at baseball. It could be against Yusei Kikuchi. Kikuchi's loose. Actually, before we break this one down, I know that we got a couple bets for this first game, everybody. We're going to be live for this game tonight, folks. So, tune in 7:30.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, we're going to be live, everybody. We're going to be riding a couple bets. So, quick shout out here to Betway.
Whoa! Time for your daily Betway breather. A quick reminder that the best place to bet is on Betway. Must be 19 years of age or older to play. In collaboration with iGaming Ontario, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
Shout out to Betway, everybody. They are absolutely phenomenal. If you are, legal gambling age and everything like that, hop on to some of these bets that we're going to be riding with. You got under on the Toronto Blue Jays run line, which goes to show what it is that you think is going to happen in this game.
That's right.
We literally just said it.
We just talked about it, man. I don't think, even though Gavin Stone is a 6 ERA, throw that out the window. It's not about the pitcher matchup now. It's about just facing any pitches. This team cannot score more than 5 runs. So this bet saying, okay, in our range of 0 to 5 runs, I think we're going to get not 5. So that whole chunk of 0 to 4 seems a lot more likely to me against the LA Dodgers. I'm going under. It's the favorite. It's 166. I'm going to ride it until the wheels fall off.
Yeah, it feels like a smash right now.
That's a smash.
I am going to be taking everybody a base knock from Will Smith and a base knock from Dalton Varsho.
That's good.
Both boys are hot right now and swinging the stick pretty well. So I'm kind of riding with that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you put it perfectly, man. If we get under 4.5 runs, we're going to lose the game, and that's what you think is going to happen.
Absolutely.
And that's the favorite, too.
And that's the favorite.
Yeah.
We're going to get, they've caught on. I mean, hell, like, why aren't we doing this? It's like, it's the same thing when you have your bet that you always pick with stealing bases.
Yeah.
Why stop doing it until the problem's fixed?
Yeah.
The problem ain't fixed, so keep doing it until you see a stretch of like, oh, they had a week where they got over 5 runs 2 times, 3 times. Wow, okay, then you can hop off.
Yeah.
Okay, but you'll be happy collecting your money before
up until that point. Game 2, everybody, like we were saying, Cooch is going to be getting loose. Once again, tough lineup to go through and tough pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. I don't think we're going to hit off this guy.
Nope.
Tyler Glasnow has been insane at baseball, folks. The guy's been going like 7 or 8 innings. He's got the most innings in the MLB right now, most strikeouts too, I believe. 4-1, really good ERA. I mean, this is I know, but the cooch, man, and again, like but it just feels like this is a 3-2 loss.
Yes, it is.
You know, like that's what this feels like.
This feels like a 3-0 loss. I think I'm straight up, guys. I think we're getting shut out. I think Cooch is going to have a phenomenal start.
Right.
A good start against the Dodgers. I think he's going to be amped up. He's facing Ohtani, Japan. The lights are going to be on.
Yeah.
You know, Kikuchi versus Ohtani. Damn, you know, Japan's watching this game. Mm-hmm. He's going to be amped up. He's going to put up a good outing. He's going into the 6th, giving up 2. We give up 1 in the bullpen. 3-0 will be the score of this game. Blue Jays lose.
Yeah, that sounds kind of accurate to me. And then this one, you're going to have Kevin Gausman. And they say TBD right now, but it should be James Paxton, everybody. James Paxton's been pretty good at baseball so far to start the year. 2.61 ERA. Something to note, though, the whip is kind of high.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, though, because, you know, we'll find a way to get ourselves out.
Yeah.
Again, like, you know, great pitching, right, from the Toronto Blue Jays. Like, all of these should be winnable games, right? Like, you got Chris Bassett and you know, Cooch is loose and Kevin Gausman, right? Like, this should be something
this should
that
be
you
very
should be
good
like you
stretch.
should be winning 2 out of these 3 games, but there's just not a whole lot of faith right now in the Toronto Blue Jays offense, and James Paxton's been playing really well. He's been throwing the ball hard. Like, it feels like another L here.
Another L. It feels like, and this one maybe the offense shows a little bit of life. I'm gonna give the offense a bit of credit. They'll get 3 off Paxton. They're gonna show up. They're gonna have their 1 for 8. They're gonna have that big runners in scoring position, the extra base hit that's going to give us a little bit of life, and then maybe the wild pitch and we score another one, and then it's going to be 3. But there will be, I think, they're going to get to Gausman because he's still trying to work himself out. It's the LA Dodgers are going to be elite. I think we get swept here, and this will be devastating. We'll be live for this one too, and we're going to be devastated, and we'll be 13-16 by the end of this weekend.
I really hope that you're wrong.
I really hope so too, guys.
But I mean, it is possible. With the way that the Toronto Blue Jays are playing right now and swinging the stick, it is very possible that could be the case. Like, we might get exposed. We might get exposed this weekend in the home ballpark against the LA Dodgers, dude. We've been slow. It's been like little pieces of getting exposed throughout the season so far. But it's possible that it could get bad.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. And look, it could go either way. It could be that could be one way. Or it could be Jays are back, Jays can prove it, we see more life, and then we get tricked again. It feels like that's going to be the roller coaster all season long. That's been the roller coaster for the Toronto Blue Jays. Like, if they actually show up and they actually win the series, which we haven't talked about, if they actually beat the Dodgers, now everyone's going to be like, wow, the Jays.
Back on the train.
We're back.
Baby, back on the train.
And I'm gonna mark my words here. If they win this series and it's Monday, I'm going to calm down. It's like I've had a really good tee shot off the 7 hole. You know, you got to calm down. Yes, you had 1 good shot, but you got to remember you're going to chunk those the next few. Right? Because you got to be realistic here. It hasn't been consistent. Until they do it consistently, I'm not going to hop on. What have they been doing consistently? Not scoring over 5 runs a game. So 1 good series ain't going to change jack shit for me. So until they do it consistently against the best teams in baseball, I will not buy in.
Well, I think, again, if they do have any chance to win this series, you're going to need the top 3 to put up.
You have to.
The top 3 of the LA Dodgers, like, there's 2 guys with an OPS over 1.
Yes.
Right? Like, we're talking about, like, you know, multiple MVP candidates here, right? And then, just the easy one in that lineup, Freddie Freeman.
Oh,
you know,
batting 303.
Yeah, what a chump, you know? Like, what a chump, you know? Sandwich between and Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts, right? Like, this is going to be really tough on the pitchers. And the top 3 of the Blue Jays cannot be just automatic outs. Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Not even close.
No, it's not even close, man. It's not even close, right? 667 OPS from Guerrero, 662 from Springer, and a 612, almost in the 500s for Bo Bichette. The guy who always leads the league in hits. He's almost in the 500s in terms of OPS. That is rough. They need to be better. We're not going to win this series unless those guys decide to show up.
Yeah, I'm doing a little bit of experiment. I'm not going to go through it all because that's going to be long. Doing a little bit of experiment that you said earlier. Just don't look at the names, look at the numbers. Okay, I'm going to bat Ernie leadoff. It would be Dalton Varsho 2, Turner 3. And then probably, and after that, we got to sacrifice. Okay, that's all we got.
That's literally all we got.
That's all we got. Maybe go Jansen 4, and let's pick a fifth one. Cam Mitchell 5. That'd actually make me very happy if I saw that lineup. Not even gonna lie, folks.
Never gonna happen.
Never will happen, though. Never will happen.
Ever gonna happen, dude. But you're right. Just from a numbers standpoint, based on how they're playing so far this season, that's probably your best 5 guys there, which is just wild to say, everybody. We're going to be live, like I said, later this evening for that first game for the LA Dodgers, potentially live against Morrow, and assuredly going to be live on Sunday as well, folks. So thank you so much for tuning in. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below about this Toronto Blue Jays team right now. The Alek Manoah update that potentially he could come in, just take over and just be in that rotation.
Can't we talk about that more?
Yeah, that's wild, man. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Quick shout out here to our Patron and our YouTube members. You guys are the best. You make this community the most electric place on the internet,
it's
folks.
Therapy. It's therapy for all of us, really. I think we all got to keep coming back here every Friday, every Monday, and just have the feels go.
Have the therapy sessions running, folks. Thank you so much for watching, and as always,
go Jays, go!